Hey, welcome everybody. Kelly here. Today we're in the shop. I got my Ford Gen Tacoma and we are going to install an Auxbeam switch panel. So anyways, stay tuned. With this install, there's no real right way to do it. Plenty of ways to do it wrong, but there's no real dedicated way to do this. It is a custom install. So let me show you the way I've done it and I can give you a couple of recommendations if you want to do it slightly different way as well. So here we go. Okay, so here's the box for that new switch panel. Like I said, it's the new AS-600, tons of new features. We can basically go over that after, but yeah, this new setup is really good. A bunch of the install stuff that I've had left over. We're gonna need some basic hand tools, some wire, a drill, a few different things. We're gonna go over this here real quick. Let me just show you what I've done. With this install, you're going to need to decide three main things: where you're gonna put the circuit box, where you're gonna put the switch panel itself, and where you're gonna put the breaker. You have to decide that, and let's have a look under the hood and we'll make a decision there. Having a look under the hood, there's only a few places where we could put it here on this new Ford Gen Tacoma. I've seen people mount the unit on top of the fuse box relay cover. There's also a secondary one on this side. I didn't really like that idea, and I don't really like damaging these covers or doing anything to them. If I wasn't going to put a dual air compressor, this is the location where I would probably put it in here. This piece right here is one of the main mounts that comes in the box that I didn't use, but if you wanted to, what you'll notice down here is that there is a few different factory bolts. There's one right there, there's a factory hole there, another one down there. If you wanted to, you could probably slip that right under there and then maybe mount the other side, and you could stand up the panel right in here. So that would work. That wouldn't be such a bad idea if you weren't going the compressor route. So as you can see, I already have mine mounted. Now what I've gone ahead and done is there's a factory bolt just right here. I've used some 1-inch metal flat bar. It's a 1-inch by 1/8 bar, and all I've done is just bent it and made it into this sort of S shape and made a hole in it, and I just mounted it to right here. Now on the back side, I've done the exact same thing. So right in here underneath my hand, I got some wires there. What you can see is right down in there, right at my fingertip, there's a factory bolt for this fuse blocks, and I've just slipped it underneath and I made another S bend and mounted it here. So this is how I have my box just mounted right in here, and it's just floating in there just like that. Here we have the circuit breaker. This is a 60 amp breaker, and I'm just kind of resetting it for you right there. And all I've done is I've mounted it here quite easily, actually. I'll show you how I've done this. In the box, you get two of these pre-made power wires. Now, as you can see here, I've made my own, this is the factory connection, and I've just made my own end. I can show you how I've done that here after. So all I've done is connected it sort of like that, and I've cut it and made it a custom length just so it's like that. Then I've made my own wire that I've ran all the way, basically all the way across and across this vacuum line and into my box. I can basically show you how I've mounted this here as well. This is the bracket that comes inside the box, and what I've done, I've actually just put this in a vise and bent it. And let me show you how I've done that. So I have an extra one because I've installed many of these here at the shop. So what I've done here is I have, let's see if I can get down in here. Right down there is the factory hold down, or the factory bolt for the battery hold down. This is the battery hold down here, goes that way, it's the same piece. And if you can see underneath there, right about down there, I've just bent this thing in a U shape. Basically I bent it here, and turned it into a U, and now it's mounted like that. And all I've done is I used this bolt hole right here, and I made another right about there where my thumb is, and I put a bolt there and a bolt there and just mounted it right there. And let me show you how the wire goes. The cover will go right on here just like this. So I have the breaker in there and ran the power wire all the way over to the other side. Let me quickly show you how I make these battery terminal ends. So what I have here is a 8-gauge ring with a 5/16, or sorry, yeah, an 8-gauge terminal with a 5/16 ring, and I have some 8-gauge wire, and then I have a roll of solder. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to heat this up. I'm going to be using a torch, but you can use just a propane and just heat this up. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use my my flame, and I'm just going to lightly heat this terminal. Now remember, we're not welding or anything, we're only melting solder, so this really doesn't need to be that hot. So we don't want to go crazy here. But what you'll see, as soon as this gets hot, the solder is just going to sink right in here. So I'm just going to kind of keep the flame on and off of it a little bit. And we'll just kind of sink in some solder till it's relatively full. Just like that. And then we'll kind of keep it hot. And all we're going to do here is, this thing is hot, and we're going to put our wire right down in there. And then we'll just let it cool. Okay, so there we have it. Now we have a completely sealed end. If we wanted to put a little piece of shrink tube, we could cut that and shrink that on there, and you'll end up with exactly what I have. So I've made multiple custom ones, and like you can see here, that is it right here. I've done that one, and I've made this one previously just for my other install that I've done. So there we go. This is how we make a custom power connection. So now, like I told you, I ran the power all the way across, all the way around, ran it up underneath here, and we've connected to this terminal right here. You can see it even as a positive, it's marked red. So there we go, and I made this custom end on there as well. So power. Next will be the ground. What I've done is I'd use the ground. Like I said, it does come with some power wire, or some wires that are pre-made. This one here with the yellow shrink tube, it is marked negative right underneath there, and it is technically black on the bottom right there. So we've connected it right there. I've ran it down and I went underneath, and what I've done is right here by the ABS motor, right there's some factory grounds. And what I've done is I've connected that ground wire underneath there, and I've ran it just across under with this bunching right here and connected it right up into there. What you're going to see here next is these wires is what we need to connect here. So we have our constant battery power, we have our ground, and what we need right here is this ACC. This is a switched ignition power. This block right here, this is the 4-pin connector. Just see if I can undo this. This is the one that goes to the control panel. We'll talk about that in a minute. What we need is, we need this switched ignition power. And you can get that from this box, or you can get it from that box if you're installing it over there. So let me just open this guy up, and obviously we had a bunch of fuses, and what we're going to need to find out is which one we can use for ignition power. So what I've done is, it's this 4th 10 amp one right here, but let me teach you how we did this. What you're going to need is some type of test light or circuit tester. I'm using a power probe, so this one is already connected to power and ground, or if you use a regular test light, that will work as well. Obviously we have a bunch of fuses here, and what you'll notice, so let me just mention, the truck here is just, it's off, it's parked, no ignition on, no nothing, it's just parked. And when this thing lights up in this tone and green, it's just reading ground. So these are all not powered currently. What you're going to find is, oh, these ones right here, see, now these have constant power. So this is not a good fuse. Anything that's going to have constant power, so while the truck is sitting here, these are just powered up all the time. So these ones right here would all be a good option to use because they are not powered. And what we're going to want to do now is switch the ignition on and find out if these are powered. More than likely that's going to be the case because they're already off with the ignition on, but be sure, test your vehicle, make sure it's running, and then quickly double check that these are on and off only with ignition. Then what you can do is you can come into your box here and you can read and see what they are attached to. Obviously we want to go with something hopefully that's not too important, but I've gone ahead and chosen this very first one. This fuse jumper comes in the kit, and what I've done is I've attached it right down there, and all I've done is let me just get the light on here again, right down there. I just made a very, very small hole with my drill, and I just ran my wire through the box and underneath there. If you ever take that out of there, if you so wanted to, you could just put a little dab of silicone on there or whatever, and then it's completely sealed. This thing needs to be, you know, tight, but not watertight. It's not like we're submerging it up into water. If you do, it's probably not a great idea if you're wheeling that hard, but it is what it is. You know, user beware. So I've gone and I've ran this wire up underneath and inside the box, and this is our switched ignition power. Okay, just to recap, so we've chosen a location. Pick your own, figure out how we're going to custom mount this thing. Then we need to run power and ground. We know how to make a custom wire if we need to. Then we need a switched ignition. I just taught you how to do that. Then lastly, like I mentioned before, we're going to need to run this 4-pin connector into the cab of the vehicle and then connect it and then find out how we're going to do that. So this Tacoma is pretty nice in the fact that we have 2 passages that we can use to get into the cab. On the driver's side, what we have is right at the bottom of the harness assembly. So that was the wire that I ran into the cab. There's a little nipple on there, and all I've done is I've cut the tip off. On the passenger side, actually, it has the exact same thing. What I've already gone ahead and done is I have a power wire for my amp install. That is this wire right here. That one is going into the cab of the vehicle as well. If you happen to go the passenger side route, which you absolutely can for the wires, it's going to come out just up in there, and what you're going to find is right above here, you'll have to remove this under panel right here, but there is a passageway that you can actually just reach in behind the HVAC box and whatnot and pass wires through very easily. So if you do come through this side, it is totally plausible. Essentially, this is one of the extra extension wires for the 4-pin connector. Now, what I'm going to show you here quickly is if you wanted to get this through that pinhole or the sort of that nipple I'm talking about under the wiring harness, what I've done or how I do this is I'll take a zip tie and I'll put it here at the end like this, and I'm going to tape this basically around and around and around, and then it kind of smooths this over so it's not pointy, and then we have something to poke through. Essentially the hole is very open but it's small, but it goes through very easily. Even sometimes I'll take some silicone spray and just spray it on here as a lubricant, and I'll slip it through and we'll get it into the into the inside of the vehicle. Okay, so now we're obviously on the driver's side, and what we're going to look up to here, let me get my camera pointed, that is where that harness is coming out, and you can see right there, this is where the nipple is coming through. What I've done here is I've bundled up all my extra wires and just put them right here, and then I poke this up through the dash. So here is where I mounted my switch panel, just off of the driver's side wheel. It fits in here perfect. It has a perfect view. Let me just close the door here. So as we're sitting here in the driver's, I mean, you know, a lot of people were driving like this or holding. It's right here at your fingertips essentially, and it clears the door perfect. It's under the vent. It doesn't mess with any of this. It doesn't mess with the turn signal. I mean, I think it's the perfect spot. It comes with 2-way tape for underneath this if you wanted to tape it here, but for me, I'm not okay with that. I just didn't really want to do that. So let me show you quickly how I mounted this. Whenever possible, I try not to modify things beyond repair, but this little panel here basically was sacrificed. I think it was the best idea. I've seen people you know, run the wires across through here or tuck it in. It's still visible, and I didn't really want to see anything visible in that sense. Need be, this panel, it just pops off. Basically, I just kind of put my fingertips underneath here and give it a tug. It comes straight back, and I've used the factory mount. What I've done here is I've put 2 bolts in it and bolted it down, and then I drilled a hole right there and basically ran the wire through. You can see I've run it right down through that corner and straight down to where we ran it through. On the back of this thing, there is a part number. So if you ever wanted to get yourself a new trim piece, you always could. So I figured that was the best way to do that. As you can see, I just kind of line it up here, click it in, and it's installed. So if we, oh, I don't have the key in here. I was going to turn it on, but yeah, so I think this is a super clean install in my opinion, and I really like it. The only thing you could do if you wanted to is you could put black bolts. I did run some silver ones because that's what I had right there. If you wanted to get some black ones, you could be picky, but from where I'm sitting, from your driver's vantage point, like I said, you cannot see any of the bolts. This thing swivels or whatever if you wanted to, so you can get the adjustment on it that you want. So that's how I have it. Something that I didn't actually talk about at all, obviously my truck is not a premium. Unfortunately here in Canada, I could not get myself an off-road premium 6-foot bed. Ridiculous. I know you guys can get it in the States, but I just could not. So I got a off-road, but I had to get, I guess you want to call it an off-road base. I'm not sure. But anyways, I couldn't get the premium version, so I don't have the switches. So some of you obviously are going to have the switches here, and we can do a custom install. The only problem with that is technically we only get 3, but there is extras. So if you wanted to buy all the switches, but then you'd have to put relays and all that kind of stuff, so much more mess. This Auxbeam is so much simpler. The install is just so much simpler, so much easier. We got the app, RGB. I mean, sure, this will be kind of OEM and clean, but I really don't mind this at all. As you can see, I've already put what I'm going to have in here. I'm going to have compressor, my light bar, my ditch lights, rock lights. This is for the backlight on my light bar, and these are going to be for the lights that I'm going to be getting from Baja Designs. Well, I almost got a little bit ahead of myself. One of the cool things, I totally forgot about this, is this thing now has a remote. So there's a lot of options. We can turn all the lights on and off with this. We can turn them all on. We can program a few different things. But let me show you, I forgot. We have to install the antenna for this, which I've already done, but let me show you where I put that. This right here is the antenna wire. It just screws on and that goes down. So what I've done is I've bundled up the wires, and what you can see is, well, maybe you can't see it, right, so this is the antenna base. It is magnetic, and I have it installed right underneath the brake master cylinder reservoir, right down in here. You can see it right there, and there's the extra wires bundled, and then I have them all zipped up there. So what that's going to allow, I've already checked it with the hood closed. I'm not sure how far it goes, but basically we'll be able to use the remote, you know, so be it if you're at camp or whatever you want to do, play with your lights or do something funny. Anyways, you can control that with the remote, and that's where the antenna goes. Now that we got the switch panel installed, we got 6 different slots we can choose from. We have some different amp ratings on the fuses, and basically we have a little positive and a negative. The screws in and out, and we connect the wire, and we can turn on whatever it is we want to turn on. At this time I don't have much RAN, but I did just install that Baja Designs 40-inch light bar, and as you can see, got a wire hider running the wiring up, and it's down through here and then into there. Well, I got the key on here, and as you can see, it's lit up already. Now with the app and whatnot, we're going to be able to change the color and the dimming. This thing does actually have a dimmable sensor right here, so you can set it up to auto dim, and of course we can change the backlight coloring. Basically, if we want to, now I can go ahead and I can just select my light bar on, and this light lets us know it's on, or I can do my backlighting, and that basically comes on like that. Let me just go around front here, and we can use the remote. I believe, let's see, we'll blind ourselves here. I think I have this set up on 4, let's see, no, 3. Whew, set up on 2. So that, oh, I'm standing right in front of this thing. That is absolutely blinding. And then I have the backlighting set up here as well on my light bar. So that's all I have to turn on right now, but there we go. A couple of the supplies that I'm using here is I got some 8-gauge wire here, I got some 16-gauge wire here, and I have a couple of little extra bolts. These, you know, this is, a lot of people call these a 10 mil because it's a 10 mil head, but this is actually a 6 mil by 1.0 thread, and that's what we're using, a little nut and bolt, and some shrink tube, and some convoluted tubing. This is 3/8, and this is that bare steel that I was using, is basically 1 inch by 1/8, and I just bend that by hand in the vise to make those brackets. Something I did want to mention, this is the instructions. Inside the instructions, we do have the QR code for the app. It is also inside the box right there as well. So you can get the app. That way you can have all the fancy features and play with all the neat little things that they have on this new model that they don't have on some of on the previous models. But anyways, that should be it. I think I've covered this completely, this install. So go ahead, feel free, do it the way that you see fit. Copy my idea, make your own idea. Let me know if you have anything you think I could have done better or that you might have done yourself. Please drop it in the comments. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, man. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. See you later. Bye.